top of the morning to you, my fellow peasants. Welcome to the first episode of The Peasanthood, brought to you and sponsored by Pringles, the little curved delicious crisp that will brighten your day. I've got two guests on the show today, and if like them you are a Final Fantasy fan and you have some opinions, I'd love to have you on the show. And just before we get into it, I want to say apologies on the audio quality on my end. I was actually recording, god damn it, through my webcam microphone, as opposed to this microphone you're hearing me through now. So audio quality is not as good as I like it to be on my end, but without further ado, let's get into it, let's go. And no, it was a joke, I'm not actually sponsored by Pringles. I wish I was, but come on Pringles, hit me up, anytime. You think that Advent Children is your favourite? Is that what you're going to say?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it is just nostalgia and the fact that, like, you're seeing all these people again. Like, I was watching it yesterday, and Yuffie comes in, she's like, who's been at my materia? And I'm just like, oh, the tropes are back.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just great.
Yeah, no, I absolutely loved Advent Children. By far out of all of them. I do think it was kind of the best explained story. I've already started recording, so welcome to the Peasanthood, guys. We've already been recording for 10 minutes.
Wow.
So if anyone who doesn't know, we've got Queenie Alex.
Hello.
How you doing, Queenie Alex?
Doing good.
And we got Squishy Jade Baker.
Aye, Savaloys.
Oi, Savaloys.
Savaloys.
I thought I'd kick this off and talk about FF movies, and what a controversial subject that is.
Definitely.
I mean, I don't know. Let just give a quick summary. What do you feel as a quick summary, each of you?
Okay, I'll go. I'll hit you up with what I think. I think there's good video game movies and then there's bad ones. I'd say that for FF it's quite, like, they're generally good. So I think Kingsglaive was visually amazing and absolutely stunning, but I think Advent Children was my favourite. Spirits Within was good for the time, but the story didn't really hold up to anything much.
Yeah, I mean, that's a interesting point you just made. Wouldn't you say all of them have been visual? I mean, this is the thing about FF movies, is they just all look so damn good. So damn good.
Yeah, they do. They always like push the boundaries, like they did with the games. They always try and up the graphics, or just the visuals are always just absolutely on fleek.
Yeah, I've got some cool statistics about that. I'll lay you guys down some facts, but over to you, Alex. What a quick summary of the FF movies. How are you feeling?
Well, I always love the animation quality of them. That's what I'm going to school for.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm just really drawn to the movies. I love the storylines, the music. The Kingsglaive, definitely big storyline. And the music was beautiful.
Oh, the music
animation.
is. I gotta say,
music,
with games, movies, they've just never gone wrong with music. I've never heard a soundtrack that I've just been like, ugh. No, they've always done it for me.
I think 15 shows very well with Yoko Shimomura, because she did Kingdom Hearts, and Alex can back me up that Kingdom Hearts music is it's just epic. It's beautiful.
Oh yes, I'll be finding that out for myself.
You'll be finding out very soon.
In March.
I can't wait.
It's happening. Please be excited. I'm so hyped with how much you guys, especially used to, how much you've been hyping up KH. Yeah, this could either be a start of a new.
It could be a spiral into like absolute chaos.
Kingdom Hearts peasant channel could happen, or
oh my god,
it could be the greatest disappointment of all time. It's possible.
Oh, that's what I'm fearing, that you're gonna get in there and you're gonna say what loads of people say and gonna be like, it's too convoluted. Who are all these people? What are they doing? But then I know that you like the complexities.
Oh yeah, you'll never hear convoluted from me.
Go with an open mind.
Yeah.
Go with an open mind.
Definitely.
A very open mind.
Starting with Spirits Within. Let's go there. So just laying out some facts before we get onto what we thought. I think you guys have probably heard it was a box office flop, as painful as it is to say. Cost $115 million US, which is more expensive than any Final Fantasy game. It's more expensive than 7. It's more expensive than 13.
It nearly broke them, didn't it?
Oh, it did.
Yes.
I mean, it certainly cost the Gooch his career, but this is the thing. As much as they say it was a box office flop, and this is why I wanted to do this episode, because it cost 115 million and it only sold 33 million at the box office. So an 85 mil hit, nearly.
Yeah.
But that's what the sensationalist headlines would have you believe. The DVD actually did pretty well. That came out, it sold 50 million within the first week, and it actually got them up to about 90 mil. So all in all, it didn't lose that much. It still lost about 30, 40 mil. But here's the interesting thing about it. They actually spent 50 mil on just the CGI, because I'm sure you've seen Spirits Within. It looks bloody amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was ahead of its time. And that the Squaresoft pictures that they developed, that cost 50 mil. So after it flopped, they pretty much threw in all the hardware, all the technology, and said, we're giving up on the movie side. What a bloody waste.
I mean, I think that when you say it's a box office flop, like there's so many just general films that have been flops but then become like cult classics. Like they might not have appealed to everyone, but there's always going to be that niche kind of market that they appeal to. And I think Spirits Within is a good film. It's just, I think that the plot falls in certain points. They try and put too much exposition into like just too fast. They try and tell you everything too fast.
I think it's good, but I'm also going to say it straight, because I'm going to be honest in this episode. I don't like the film. I don't like it. I wouldn't ever say it's one of my. It's definitely not on par with Advent Children and Kingsglaive. No way. Oh no. Well, this is the interesting thing. We say it's not on par, and this is where I'm going to get quite angry. I'm going to get ragey. Because
do it.
I fucking hate critics. I hate critics. I cannot stand the critics' scores. They have flopped every single game movie that has ever come out, be it the WoW movie, be it Assassin's Creed, be it Advent Children. But here's the funny thing. We sit and say that Advent Children and Kingsglaive on a whole nother level. According to the critics, they scored Spirits Within a 4.9, but they scored Advent Children a 3.3, and this is out of 10.
Really?
And Kingsglaive a 3.5. So the critics score Spirits Within considerably higher than the others.
Wow.
That's funny.
They do not know their arse from their elbow.
I think it's simply because they're not as emotionally attached to it. Like, obviously, Advent Children follows what happens in 7, and as players of the game, we know how much it like just means to us.
Yeah.
As a narrative and how it follows on from the game. But I think a critic going in seeing it as just a film, they'll just look at it and think, that doesn't make sense, and that doesn't make sense, and therefore it's a bad film.
Yeah.
But, they
so
just don't understand.
Yeah, and that's why I go to what Alex said with the whole word convoluted. That's what I'm just going through the reviews, and they just use the word convoluted, and they just throw it out there so flippantly. Convoluted. I think that anything that is JRPG, be it a film, be it a game, Western critics, they just seem to automatically call it convoluted. And it infuriates me.
I do think it's because they don't seem to grasp the kind of like tropes of the JRPG or what the films will have in them. I think it is purely because they're just not educated on the facts. Yeah. Whereas obviously played the games, we know what's going to happen, we know what to expect.
But what do you think of Spirits Within, Alex?
Well, the story is confusing to me.
Yeah.
I did like the characters though. Interesting movie.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting movie. Because I'm going to say, I didn't like it. I watched it the first time. I watched it again. I was really hoping that the second time it would pull me in. And I got to say, for all the things that I hear about Spirits Within, so many people say one of the biggest things I hear is it's not a Final Fantasy. It's just a movie with Final Fantasy slapped on it.
Yeah.
I disagree. That's the one thing I'll disagree with.
There are certain things, like the whole kind of Gaia and these spirits. We have to find all these spirits and the world will be fine again, which is like finding the 4 crystals and restoring light to the world. But you have to look for the Final Fantasy in it.
Well, I mean, the way I saw it is I was looking at it, and this time I understood the story a lot better, and I like it. I like the premise of the plot. Going around collecting these spirits. They come from birds, they come from trees, they come from life. But when I was thinking about it, holy crap, this could honestly be Final Fantasy VII, the backstory. You know when Jenova came on a meteor and she brought the parasite and it started wiping out mankind and the Cetra had to do what they had to, and it was affecting Gaia. Honestly, that's pretty much what happens with Spirits Within. An alien parasite comes on a meteor and Gaia has to battle it. It's definitely Final Fantasy, I feel.
That's an interesting thought. I hadn't thought about it that way.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was Sakaguchi, and he's the one who has inevitably taken a hit.
That hurt as well, the fact that the one I like the least is by Sakaguchi, and it's like, you want to like it because you know that he's so good at storytelling, but it just fell a bit flat.
It said they had to cut out a lot of storyline.
Yeah, it had a solid plot.
I think, I can't fault the plot with Sakaguchi and plot. Honestly, I really didn't like, I still don't like General Hein. I don't like Grey. I can't remember what the squad's names are. I think it's Helen and the other bloke who was supposed to be the comedy relief.
Oh, the one that was Steve Buscemi.
But the jokes were so bad.
What is it called? Neil.
Neil.
That was so terrible. Oh god.
I just couldn't. I always gravitate towards the comedy relief. Neil, come on, man. You're killing me here, man.
Yeah.
Lay a decent joke out for me.
It was a favour.
What do you guys think of Aki? Because this is one thing that kind of turned me off towards the end, because it came off as a bit of cliche, cheesy end. Aki started with such a great character, but I felt like she started losing it the more she started getting attached to Grey. What do you think of Aki and Grey's relationship?
Yes.
I'm always kind of the hopeful. Can they get together?
You're the hopeless romantic.
Yep, rekindle that lost.
Yeah, I mean, they purposely tried to make that ending very romantic, with Grey sort of holding onto her hands. And, everyone else's soul got sucked out in sort of half a second, but Grey's just lasted enough seconds to have a final romantic
final
speech.
Goodbye. Yeah. I don't like the clearly enforced romantic plots and things like this. I feel like it wasn't necessary. They could have still worked together, but they didn't need to be like that. The only way they seem to be able to like put drama into it is if one of them died and the romance was there, and like you said, he's having his final little romantic speech, and then that's it for him.
Yeah, I was cringing yesterday when it was Aki. She just don't leave me, Grey. Don't leave me.
It's cringy. That's what it is. I'd rather she was just like, have to do what I have to do, and you're gonna die, and that's that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think she needed to be a little bit more. I'm gonna say it's lightning.
Headstrong.
Yeah, she needed a bit more lightning than
than
she was. But so yeah, all in all, Spirits Within, it kind of recouped it back with the DVDs, flopped in the box office. And Square Enix after that, they said they were never going to make another movie after that. The 50 million Square Pictures technology that they'd invested in pretty much binned it. And this is the thing I get so annoyed about Square Enix for, is they do this. They build engines just like they built it for 13, and they only ever use it once.
Yeah, that did bother me. Like I said a while ago on a post, I said, they should have just used Crystal Tools for 15 and refined it to its like just maximum, like Lightning Returns, and then use that, and it would have been still a very beautiful game.
Oh god, yeah,
but
100%.
They like I said before, they always seem to feel like they need to push the envelope a little bit more, and then obviously they made the Luminous engine, and we know what happened with that.
I know the comments we're going to get talking about this, because the thing is, although we say, they could have used Crystal Tools, it is true that they sort of build a game around an engine, but that doesn't mean that there aren't elements of Crystal Tools they could have carried over into 15, and they could have made the game far less ambitious tech-wise. And that's the thing. I think if it doesn't go well the first time, if you've invested all this technology, at least give it another go. Learn from your
try
mistakes.
And refine it a bit.
Yeah, refine it. I have a feeling like, unless it does well, Square Enix will always throw the towel in. So FF13 did incredibly well in sales. So, 13-2.
They carried on.
And Lightning Returns. But, something that doesn't do so well, and they just pack it in. And I just think that's such a cop-out.
Yeah, I mean, look at 7. The whole compilation of 7 was because it did very well. And obviously, if it had flopped, they would have just said, nope, we're cutting it off now. We're cutting off this whole universe.
Yeah.
Never know.
And that's why when I did that infographic, I don't remember if you saw the video. I mean, look how much FF10 made them. I think it was something like
10. I was going to say 10
billion dollars. And that is by far the most profitable Final Fantasy yet. So the fact that I'm going to be doing my 10.3 video, the fact that they've come on stage and they said, oh, 10.3, wait a little longer to hear about that. Oh, it's got to be happening, guys.
I want it to follow, from the audio thing. I can't remember what they call it. Is it Will? Yeah. 10 Will? Yeah. I'm going to say that I quite liked it.
Oh, God, Jade.
Which I know is...
I agree.
Wait, do you actually... Oh, okay.
We have found one another. We're the only... I knew there was someone else out there who liked it.
Because, I really like 10, but everyone's always like, oh, fuck Will. Will was shit. Why did they even bother? And I'm like, but it's Oren's daughter. I did enjoy it, and it made me think, what if, there has to be something after that, because you can't have Sin come back and then not have something follow it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's on a cliffhanger now. But I just think it's definitely misunderstood. But I'm going to do the video on it. I don't know how we've detoured. I'll definitely do the video. I mean, quickly, what do you think, Alex? Very quickly, before we move back onto movies of 10.3.
Well, I'm kind of excited about it because 10's always been one of my favorites. So I always love the story of Yuna and Tidus in the game, and I just want more of them, I guess.
I just realised we're doing a Final Fantasy podcast, and I haven't even asked you guys the absolute compulsory question.
Oh.
Favourite Final Fantasy?
8.
8?
10. It's always going to be 10.
Okay, and now the second question. Were either 8 or 10 your first FFs?
8.
Yes.
10 was my first. I was 5 years old on that, and I was just like, this is great. It was just so mind-blowing, and I just loved it.
You were 5?
I was 5. I completed Final Fantasy X at 5 years old.
Oh.
I cannot even wrap my head around that.
I used to go to my cousin's house, and we used to play it together, and we had a race to see who could beat it first. And he always got stuck on the final Aeon.
Yeah.
Whizzed through that, I was like, I got the Maga Sisters.
At 5 years old?
Fight me. Yeah.
I want to call bullshit. This can't be.
No.
How old were you, Alex?
8 or 10, because my brother first played it.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me play. We had it on the PC. We didn't have it on the PlayStation.
There's only one other point. Before I move on from Spirits Within, one other point I need to bring up. The fact that Aki was, and this still blows my mind, in 2001, Maxim, she was the first ever fictional woman to make the top 100 females list. She made it at 87. What on earth is that about?
That's pretty... I mean, it's pretty cool, but
she just looks like a plain Jane to me. I mean, is Aki good looking, guys?
Okay.
I wouldn't... Yeah, she's okay. She's just kind of like the base character that everyone... Like, she has to have something special about her. She seems pretty plain, but, like, she has all the dreams that she has and whatnot. I'm not trying to defend her, because I didn't really like her character, but at the same time...
2 seconds. Sorry about that. That was just the postman delivering me a cornucopia amount of drugs.
He's not your postman, really.
My stuff still hasn't delivered yet. The headphones.
Oh, yes, the Chocobo headphones. Yes, you won.
Oh, damn it, Jake.
Yeah, they are on their way.
You had one job.
I had one job. But moving swiftly and straightly in, because we'll do Advent Children, and then we're going to do a quiz. How are you guys at quizzes?
Pretty good at quizzes, I'd like to say.
Yeah?
If it's something I know about.
It's going to be all about FF15.
Oh, nice, okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
It is quite hard. I'll just say there's about 10 questions. I could only answer about 5.
Okay, I don't have any hope anymore.
The only thing I know is from your videos.
Oh, you might be fucked then. But Advent Children. So this was a 2005, was it? 2005?
I think it was 2005 Japan, 2006 Western shores.
Yeah.
Europe and America.
101 minutes long, and I think that was the considerably cut down version. Have you guys seen the extended?
I have seen the extended.
There's so much in there. 25 minutes of absolute critical plot line that I cannot believe they didn't add. And it adds so much to the plot. I'm going to get that out of the way. That's the thing that annoys me most. When I look at some of the cuts they did, I'm like, why did you cut that? And yet you kept the scene of, I don't know, dilly-dally, shilly-shally.
Oh, dilly-dally, shilly-shally.
I love that scene.
It used to confuse me because it went, Tifa was just like, dilly-dally, shilly-shally, and then all of a sudden Reno and Rude are there. And I was like, I don't even remember you coming in. And he's just like, oh, I think it means she wants you to, do whatever you need to do. And I was just like, where did you even come from? Yeah. Why are you even here? Fucking Turks walk in.
Yeah.
Like, oi.
Greatest enjoyment of the film, though, Reno and Rude for me. Absolutely.
Oh, I love Reno.
Reno's
so
amazing. But Rude as well. Rude was just fantastic.
Together they are such a great duo.
And that's why I keep saying, in the 7 remake, they have to make them more of a comedy duo.
People I was about to say they'd be the pure comic relief because that's what they were in Advent Children, and I just feel like, and even in 7, we just didn't hear it or see it much really. But
can you imagine Reno and Rude, and now we throw in Eleanor?
I feel like they're just gonna constantly take the mick out of Elena because she's all like, "Oh, Song, I love you," and then
and always blurting out the Turks' plans. Oh, we're off to stop Sephiroth. He was last seen.
I'm a little concerned for the remake.
Are you? What are your main concerns?
Just that they would change the complete and baseline story of the.
Yeah. I mean, they've pretty much.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident about it.
The way I've spoken about it, I think I don't want the same story. I think the whole point of remake is to reimagine and to go at different angles. But it is interesting that Nomura recently said that things like Advent Children and Crisis Core, based on what they plan on doing in the story, would actually be out of context and they wouldn't actually make sense canonically.
Right, because it came before the movies.
This is the thing. It would kind of imply that the 7 remake is going to go against Crisis Core and Advent Children. And when I look at that, because we actually found in Mobius, have either of you... I mean, I guess you've seen my stream of it.
Yeah, I've done a bit of the special remake level, but not too much.
Well, what was really exciting is they've done these 7 remake collab, and they had 7 remake specific cards come out, and one of the cards that they've done is Omega Weapon, and it's labelled 7 remake. Now, Omega Weapon was in Dirge of Cerberus; it wasn't in the original game, so it kind of implies that Omega Weapon could be in the remake. And now it makes sense why Nomura would say, like, it'd make things like Dirge of Cerberus out of context, because obviously Omega was the final boss.
If you kill Omega Weapon in 7, then it won't be in Dirge of Cerberus.
Precisely. So that's kind of exciting. That, to me, implies that things from Advent Children and Dirge and Crisis Core can be in the remake. So I think it's a good thing. I mean, how do you feel about that, Alex? If it meant that the story was involving things like extra Zack or some of the Lucrezia.
I think so. I would like to have some moments, if not like flashbacks.
Yeah, and going back to Advent Children, I'm going to kick off. The first thing that annoyed me, I don't know how you guys feel about it, is it was 2 years on. So love the film, love the story. I really like the remnants, Kadaj, Loz, Huzaah.
Yeah.
I thought they were epic. But the thing that annoyed me was to know that Cloud was still stringing Tifa along 2 years later. Oh, that made my blood boil.
Yeah, like when she says a memory or us, and I'm just like, just pick her, damn it.
Yeah, pick her.
Make up your mind. Make up your mind.
I definitely would have preferred the us instead of the memory.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It became so glaringly obvious at that point when Tifa said that.
Tifa's always been my favourite, so.
Yeah? Are you a Tifa on Aerith girl, Jade?
I'm a Tifa girl. Ooh. I like Aerith. I like Aerith.
Oh, God.
But...
Oh no, this is the hardest question.
I think I'm definitely a Tifa Tifa fan. As much as I love.
Oh, I'm speaking to 2 Tifettes.
I'm sorry. I played 7 and I got to when she died and I just felt nothing until I played it again. Shut up, right? I'm going to explain.
Okay,
until I played it again
That's okay then.
And then I felt it because I knew what would happen after and what part she would play, and I understood it more the second time I played through it. So
it just took you a while to grow a heart.
Yeah, I think I was pretty heartless when I was younger, but
I never made it to that
I'm
part
a blob.
You've not made it to that part of
the era scene.
Oh, 7.
Yeah.
Have you not finished 7 yet, Alex?
Well, I have a funny time with games. I'll make it to a point in a game, and then if I get stuck, I won't go past it until I'm like ready to go back to it.
I was bad like that. I think it was the Fire Temple in the Ocarina of Time, and I just got stuck. And I was like, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Majora's Mask, that used to scare the shit out of me, so I just didn't play it. I was like,
I'm out.
I'm out. Yeah, out of fear, I didn't play that game.
And then I never finished the final bosses. I'll make it there, and then like, nope.
So with Advent Children, it got an 80 out of 150,000 user scores.
Yeah.
It got an 84%.
I feel it definitely deserves it though.
But the critics gave it a 33%.
Ugh.
How can there be such a... But the thing is, that 33% is only by 6 critics. So that kind of doesn't mean shit, really, when you think about it. Only 6 people. But the biggest gripe I have is the bad reviews. And this is kind of why I want to blend into Kingsglaive, is they always talk about how... the reason I'm scoring this low is because it's clearly a game movie.
Yeah, I wanted to bring this up actually because... Like, you've got video game movies like the Resident Evil series, you know, they're clearly not connected to it.
Yeah.
And they're going off, like, all the Umbrella Corporation and whatnot, but they're, like, live action, they're not, like, CGI. And I think that's where the Western critics fall with this. They can't grasp that it's a film, but it's animation and it's serious, but it's still CGI. And then
they said make me a critic, I'll review it, Fieldy.
Yeah,
I'll review it.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the thing. You can't just sit there and go, oh, this is bad because it's a game movie and it's clearly a tee up for a movie. And that's inherently bad. I mean, why is it bad? Why is it bad that's a game movie? And you know, even fans in Final Fantasy, they say, Kingsglaive, it wasn't fully contained, or it kind of didn't have everything explained at the end. And with Kingsglaive, it looked amazing. I still maintain best CGI film ever created visually. Nothing
definitely
has even come close still. And when I look at that, I think... I couldn't understand why. Why haven't you released this in a bigger way, in cinemas across the world? Because they had very, very limited viewings. And now I look back to Spirits Within. I only researched this day. It makes sense because it flopped in the box office so astronomically. But in the DVDs, it did so well. And then they kind of, with Advent Children, because that was a straight to DVD. There was no cinema. I think you might have got 1 or 2 fan viewings in part, but it's straight to DVD. And now with this, it kind of feels like they did it half and half. A little bit to cinema, and mostly to DVD. Are they kind of trying to ease back in, test the waters?
I think they could, but I think they're still reeling back from Spirits Within. I think that they know that it was a flop, and I don't think they want to repeat that, obviously. And they're just, like you said, they're probably just testing the waters to see what people will watch, what the fans will like, if other people outside of the fan base will go and watch it still and see if it's, for them.
Dipping the toe in the water, slowly easing back
they're trying it out.
I think it was very clever to do it off of the back of 15, because obviously you could do the movie, but you had the sales and the financial support of the game backing it up. And the movie most definitely had the game to fall back on. The one thing, because we've kind of slipped into Kingsglaive, I wanted to get your thoughts on this. There was clearly so much difference in the characters, like Ravus and his personality. Kind of with Luna, she was a little bit more the same. But when you combine how much their personality changes and the fact that they just look completely different, I kind of feel like it's hard to have actually carried over any feelings from Kingsglaive into
It's very disjointed, that's what I'll say, between what happened in Kingsglaive and the way people were in Kingsglaive to where we picked up with 15.
There's definitely difference in animation quality. So, and the characters' designs kind of didn't bridge that gaps.
Yeah.
But some of the characters did change. Like with Ravis, his story or character line changed a bit. And I think with Nuna, she kind of stayed the same. Like, head strong.
Yeah, she still was all like, I don't fear death. And all that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about Kingsglaive is we saw how much she was throwing herself in danger.
She did not give any shit.
No, she didn't. And everyone came away from that movie going, yeah, she's not going to make it in the game, is she?
The moment I knew about Luna was when I listened to her theme, and it's laced with sadness, and I was like,
yeah, she ain't making
she's
it.
Dead. She's dead.
She's a goner.
There's no hope for her.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of criminal, though, that they showed off diamond weapons, and we didn't get to fight
and
one.
we didn't. It wasn't even like a post-game thing,
No.
like with the adamantoids. We couldn't go and kill a diamond weapon.
No.
But
And,
I think...
and telling us that we would feel Nyx throughout the game.
Yeah.
I know.
And not making Galada region, or Libertus. You'd think that Nyx gave his life for Noctis, and it was his final words. You think that Libertus would honour his friend's death by trying to help the prince in the game? I mean, there were just even sort of plot devices. I keep going back to this one. Do you remember when Nyx would warp strike and he'd hear his dead sister?
Yes.
Or
I wanted to know more about that.
Yeah, so did I. And the Kingsglaive, they would choke up all this black ash if they were using the king's magic too much. I think it was Pelnakari's like, oh, not again, or not now. It's kind of like, where did all of that come into it? Because you'd think that if the Kingsglaive were having side effects, the bros would have them as well.
Yeah.
And I was really excited that, when Clarus died, because Nyx heard his dead sister, I was thinking, oh, I know what's going to happen here. Gladiolus is going to warp strike or conjure his weapon, and he's going to hear
see
Clarus.
his dad.
Yeah, how good would that
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
I think because that as well annoyed me a bit. There was no emotion from Gladiolus when, Insomnia has fallen, and
he didn't even ask about
his dad. He knows
dad.
his dad is there, so why wasn't he? Could have shed a tear or something.
I know.
Just cry, man.
I mean, even if Gladiolus and Clarus had the shittiest of shit relationships, he'd still be like, "Sir, no, do you know about the old man? I know he wouldn't have left Regis's side."
You go and see a Monica, and she's just like, "Oh yeah, I've heard what happened." And then he just asks about Iris, and I understand that he's your sister, she's his sister, but you gotta also ask where's his father, and
did he not care about his father? I guess.
Well, I mean, Iris definitely cared about her father. If we look in the anime, I think it was she was talking about dad and how she was gonna go grass on Gladiolus to her dad, and she didn't even ask about it. So there's definite things from the movie that I feel like, come on, you needed to have it connecting to the game. You teed up too much in Kingsglaive that wasn't in the game, and but for the game itself, for the film itself, I think it was bloody amazing. I've got to say, I loved it. It was fantastic.
The fight in the choreographing was
incredible,
amazing. It was it really was
amazing. It really was.
It was just beautiful to watch, and the fact that you can see they've thought it through, and they've carefully planned every single move that these characters are going to make. Like you said about the placement of certain characters and stuff in Kingsglaive.
Yeah.
And who they stand by, what they say, it all means something. And I do think they did plan it meticulously, and they did it they executed it very well. But
I wish we kind of could have had a little bit more lighting during the final battle scene.
Oh, so more lighting.
Especially within the monsters, because I can hardly tell what was going on.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. With how dark it was, and some of the crazy, obviously there's a lot of fire and shadow effects. It was at times very difficult to see what was happening, and the fact that every time they'd warp strike, it would kind of flash on the screen. I had to watch it about 3 or 4 times, and that Nyx and Drautus fight, when you actually watch it sort of in detail, and you look at some of the moves that Nyx is, man, it's like a dance. It's absolutely masterful. It's a dance. It's a dance. It's incredible. how well choreographed that Nyx and Drouters scene was. And when the Knights of the Round got involved, or the Huzaah, that was mind-blowing. I was on the edge of my seat. I was throwing pillows around the room.
I remember your reaction video to that.
Yeah. Oh, I got to say, it was honestly one of the most enjoyable films. So while I can pick a few little plot holes here and there,
it was still an enjoyable film.
It was still an incredible film.
I wish they would have included the moose side into the game as well.
I think when Noctis first put on the ring, he had to go before the council.
Like Ravus kind of did, like Nyx did.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the Huzaah weren't going to burn Noctis to a cinders, but I definitely think he needed to at least stand before them and have some sort of dialogue or scene or some sort of judgment.
I was expecting that to happen. I was like, wait a minute, am I missing something here?
Well, I mean, this is the thing, they kind of flipped it, because the Huzaah in the movie were very sort of domineering and controlling and manipulative of sort of Nyx and mankind and whatnot. But then in the movie, Noctis was kind of treating them like his little bitch. He was also like, Huzaah, come to me, kind of summoning them all over the place. I think that was kind of cool. I don't know how we've ended up covering all three films this soon. So what we'll do is we'll score it. Start thinking of the scores in your head. But we are at this point going to go on to the quiz.
Oh God. Pray for me.
All right, so let's pray for you. So I'm going to keep score. You have 10 seconds. And if say pass, it's between the two of you. You are a team. So you're going to need a team name. Hit me with it.
I'm just going to go with the classic Savaloys because...
Savaloys. Are you in agreement with that name, Alex? You can veto it if you like. No, you're happy to be...
No, we're gonna see.
All right, the Savaloys. And for any peasants listening, how you all doing? There will be other peasanthoods. If you want to come on, let me know in the comment section. And there's going to be a leaderboard. So depending on how high up you get on the leaderboard, both of you could be having a kayak come your way.
Ooh.
So there we go.
I will try my bestest.
All right, so 10 seconds, and when the timer starts counting down, I'll do a random Final Fantasy jingle if you get close. So here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Alex, you ready?
Maybe.
Jade, you ready?
I don't do well on the pressure.
I've never been more ready. Okay. I think.
Question 1: in what chapter do we first see Blind Ignis?
9. Wait, no.
Chapter.
Yeah. 9.
Yeah, chapter 9, correct. Name 4 armature weapons. Any 4.
Shield of the Just.
Shield of the
Sword of the Father.
I don't know any of them.
Yep, Sword of the Father. Correct.
Oh, what's the...
Shield of the Just. Like. Correct.
Oh.
2 more.
I know what they look like. A trident one.
Trident of the Oracle.
That's 3.
And
One
Katana
more.
of the. Oh my God, I can't go.
Katana of the. Boop, 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 boop. That's
Katana
it.
of the Warrior.
No.
Katana of the Warrior. No.
Yes,
no.
Correct, but too late. So.
Oh.
Question number 3. Name the demon that Idolus turned into.
Faustus. Oh,
No,
Faust.
incorrect. Pharos.
I don't know.
What is Titan said to have done at the Disc of Quarthus?
Wait, what?
What is Titan said to have done at the Disc of Quarthus? Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Hold the meteor.
I'll accept that. Catch the astral shard. I'll accept that.
There we go. Catch the astral shard.
Shard, yeah.
It's a bit elaborate.
What magazine is Viv the president and CEO of?
Oh wow.
Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum.
It's something to do with meteor.
Bum, bum, bum,
I
bum.
don't know.
I don't know. Oh.
And out of time. It's Meteor Publishing.
Oh, I said it's a meteor thing. Does that not count?
No, a meteor thing.
That meteor thing.
What was Ignis's middle name?
Oh, Ignis.
What was his last name?
Ciencio.
Dum,
But
dum, dum,
God,
dum, dum, dum. That's the
I know,
surname.
but
Dum
It
dum
was,
dum 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 dum.
It was
dum. Right, it's Stupio.
Just Stupio.
It's
oh
Yeah.
so close.
Why
It
do
don't count. It don't
Oh.
count. What does Freecast do in 15?
no. Casts any magic any kind of magic.
Okay.
Any of precast is the one that casts. It's either fire, ice, or thunder.
I don't know.
It doesn't cast any like high tier shit, but it does.
I can't accept it. The correct answer is adds on a bonus number to the casting.
Oh.
It's close. What is the name of the Final Fantasy rod? Given by Navith. So the final fishing rod given by Navith. What's its name?
I don't know.
Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Do 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 do.
I can't concentrate with you doing Cosmo Canyon.
Alright, the correct answer is Tranquility. I even played Cosmo Canyon. That's a tranquil place. I'm trying to give you hints here, guys.
Really?
Alright, where do you fight Aranea?
At the fortress.
What's the fort's name?
Neverheim?
No. Jade, got anything?
No.
Fort Valeray. Fort Valeray.
These are difficult. How are you even going to remember that?
This might get a bit easier. Alex, you said if you've seen my videos, you should know this. Who is Noctis' grandfather?
Oh,
I remember that.
Come on. I told you in a theory vid.
I know.
Come on, Alex. Dig deep. Dig deep.
I remember the newspaper. I remember that you had it in a newspaper that they showed, but I can't remember the name.
And you were nothing but the strength you gave me. Only thing I can do is to. Anyone got it?
No, I can't. I can't do it.
The correct answer is Morris.
You're horrible at this.
Damn it.
Yeah. Okay. Who do you trade cane carrots into for items?
What?
So what's the name of the guy that you give cane carrots to?
Oh, it's at the lighthouse.
Yeah. What's his name?
Oh, what's he called? He's well shady.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to. I know. Oh, it's like it's something like Tony or something.
Tony. Correct.
It's actually Tony.
Yeah, it's actually Tony. Hey. Well done.
He had a shady name like Dino, so Tony was the first because he speaks like Dino as well.
So
I was going to say Dino.
This next question, you can get 2 points. There are 2 bosses in Crest Home Channel. Name either or both of them.
Crest Home Channels.
Crest Home Channels.
The Jormungand, is that?
1 point.
And the one that's like Naga, but it's not Naga. Not Nagini. Is it Nagini?
Nagini, that's Harry Potter. That's Lord Voldemort's snake.
Boss Nagini, right? I'm not.
Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to give you a point for that. I'm going to give you a point for that.
What is it?
It's Nagarini.
Nagarini! That just sounds like a pasta. Nagini sounds legit.
Yeah. Nagarini does sound like a pasta.
Oh.
Sounds like I'd grate some cheese over that. A nice old plate of cheese and Nagarini.
Macaroni and cheese.
And finally, name the secondary weapon slots. So what kind of weapon are in the secondary slots for Gladiolus, Ignis, and Prompto?
Gladiolus is shield.
Yep.
What's
yeah.
Prompto's another gun, isn't it?
What kind? What's it called?
Machinery. He does machinery.
Yeah, correct.
And Ignis has lance.
Lance. There we go. So that is a grand total of 6 points. Not bad. You think that's a winning score?
I'd like to be optimistic and say yes. No, hopefully. Unless, I've got to sabotage everyone else now.
But smoothing back into the movies, let's do it. Let's give our own ratings out of 10. So again, Spirits Within, 4.9 from the critics, and a good healthy 6.3 out of 10 from the audience. I don't think 6.3 out of 10 is too bad. I'd actually kind of agree with that score. I think it agrees about 6 to 6.5. What about you guys?
Between a 5 or a 6, around about there.
Yeah.
I think I'd give it a 6, 6.5.
A 6, yeah. I think 6.5. I'm being a bit kind. Because I've given it a second watch, so I think if I watched it the first time, based on how I saw it the first time, maybe a 4.5. I really didn't like it, but... okay, Advent Children. So, Advent Children coming in with a 3.3 out of 10 from the critics and an 8.4 from the public.
I think I'd give it an 8. And if it had the extra content that the complete version had, a 9, edging a 10. I did really enjoy Advent Children. I'm so biased.
Yeah. Alex, how about you?
I'm a little unsure because I don't want to give it like the perfect rating.
Yeah.
So I think I'll give it like 8.5 to 9.
You know, if you're not going to do Alex, I am. I'm going to give it a 10. I'm going to give it a 10. I don't care. Well, you know, I will give the full complete version a 10. I look at Advent Children and I can't see any... I can't see anything wrong with it. I really can't. I think the story was completely self-contained. When I look at a lot of the complaints, here's a big one I hear, guys. Just looking at the critics, they're saying, this movie does nothing to explain the original game.
What?
I know.
Their minds. They're off the faces. They don't know what they're saying.
For one, the movie isn't there to explain the game. And secondly, do you remember the introduction? Marlene pretty much narrated what happened in the game.
Yeah, actually, because I was talking to Sean about it, or Son of Robin, whatever we want to call him, and he said, he was like, it didn't really introduce it though, and I was like, Marlene literally goes through the whole of 7 in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, she does.
Did you not see the beginning of the movie?
She talks about the live stream, she talks about how Aerith died.
Genova, Sephiroth, the soldiers.
How they lost.
Avalanche. Yeah, I mean, it literally explained bloody everything. I mean...
He says,
what more do you want to know?
Exactly. And so, yeah, I can't understand that. But when I look at the story, this is kind of why I also like Dirge Cerberus. I really like... can't pronounce it. Is it the Svets? Svets? Svets.
I'm not even going to try Svet. I thought it was Svets.
I thought it was Svets. I really like those. I like those just as much as I like the Remnants. I thought they were awesome villains. I hear a lot of complaints about them, but I thought they were fantastic. And I think
they're just
I've never
actually quite liked it.
I never actually played it before, but I've seen some of the stuff for it.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's fantastic. I think Shulk. And
Shulk. I was about to say it was nice to see like it getting a bit of like notice in World of Final Fantasy and stuff as well. You know, with Shulk showing up. I did enjoy it.
Add in the blocked cutscenes, I'd give it a straight up 10. But without the cutscenes, I'd still give it a solid 9. I've sat and I've looked at the Advent Children story and I've read bad reviews and I've tried to think, you know, how can I only give this an 8? Because if I give it a 9 or a 10, I'm going to sound like a bloody fanboy. But honestly, I can't find really any huge criticisms. Rounding out with reviewing Kingsglaive. But before we go into reviewing and giving our scores for Kingsglaive, what do you actually think is better? What do you prefer? Advent Children's combat and choreography or Kingsglaive? That's a tough one.
With Advent Children, I always come back to 2 scenes, and it's the scene of Tifa fighting in the church. Because oh my god,
brilliant!
That's my
amazing.
favorite.
When she drags his face.
She drags him into the benches and she backflips off a wall.
I love that.
And the bit with the flowers. And then the bit where Kadaj turns into Sephiroth. And Cloud's just swooping in and then he just completely crashes on this bit. And then they just fight. Just outright fight again. And Cloud does Omni Slash. And I'm just like, if that's what it looks like in the game, I'm going to cry.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Kingsglaive had the Nyx and Drouters fight, but when you add up how many Advent Children had, because you even think of, you know, when Cloud's on the bike and they're going through the tunnel.
Oh, the bike, yeah.
And they're just teleporting all over the place. I'm thinking, how the fuck are you managing to hold these guys off, Cloud?
The City of the Ancients as well, when he's fighting all 3 of them. And Vincent swoops in and saves the day.
Oh, God, it's so good. It's so good. I like the little subtleties, especially with the Tifa and Loz fight. The little things like, you know, before Tifa goes in and she just braces her breath, or when she shakes her hand out from the electric. Just the really awesome, cool
like little things, but it just makes it so much better.
What was your favourite fight from the Advent Children? Of all the fights in Advent Children, Alex, what was your favourite?
That's a tough question. But I think overall my favorite's the Tifa fight.
The Tifa fight, yeah.
Tifa fight is
I
always
just love the animation.
Before we go on from here, onto reviewing Kingsglaive, the one thing that still annoys me to this day is how even in polls, even in forums, people still say that Sephiroth would beat Cloud. But Advent Children surely just proves that that is not the case.
Solidified that he can't.
Yeah.
He'll never beat Cloud.
I mean,
He's done it twice now.
I know, you could kind of understand it from the game, because he had friends there to help him. But I think when Advent Children came out, it was like, Sephiroth versus Cloud, the teammates aren't getting involved, this is it, this is the showdown, this is the answer on who is stronger, and Cloud won.
Cloud is
Cloud,
totally the, you know.
So, what are we going to score Kingsglaive then? Kingsglaive, according to the people, or the critics, it gets a 3.5. But that's not, again, it's not really many critics, it's like 10 to 20 max. But with the 4,500 public, it's got about 7.3 out of 10. What do we think?
I'd give it a good 7.
Yeah.
Because a 7 or an 8, just because it's a beautiful film. The storyline it's got a solid plot.
Yeah.
And it did help me understand 15 at the end of the day.
How about you, Alex? What you feeling?
I think I'd give Kingsglaive an 8.
Yeah? Nice.
I enjoy the characters, the story, the animation. One of my favorite parts was also the Luna's character. The whole characters really stood out to me, especially the way that they designed her hair.
Oh yeah, the hair was fantastic.
I love
the hair.
In both game and movie, Luna's hair has been on point.
I actually prefer her game character design more than her movie character design.
Yeah, I suppose that's a really big one. How do we feel? Game character design or movie character design for Luna?
Oh,
I know what you're going to say, Jade. I know what you're going to say.
What am I going to say?
Yeah, you're definitely going to say game character design.
Oh,
aren't you?
Actually, no. I was going to say...
I made an assumption.
I like the film Luna.
Ooh.
I think just her design seems to have more to it. And you know how we talk about colour, we talk about how the colours are significant in this game, the black and the white.
Yeah.
And I think that in Kingsglaive, her dress was more, it just seemed... Like, her one in the game was regal, but it was just straight, stark design. Why it made it obvious that she was this innocent character. She was obviously from Tenebrae, and that's what she was going to be throughout. But I think she was more action-orientated in Kingsglaive. She moved around a lot more. She could do a lot more in that dress, which sounds a bit weird to say, but I think just seeing her more, out and about. And I think her dress, it was a lot more functional, that dress, and I think that it had a very, I thought that dress was going to be like her wedding dress. It was very, especially with the little cape bit, it was very regal. And
yeah, I mean, talking about the functionality, yeah, as you're both peasants, is it actually possible to run that fast in those heels?
Yes, with enough practice, yes.
It is possible. Okay, it is confirmed, male peasants. You can run away from a giant purple squid in those heels. Because I was looking at it and I was thinking...
I don't wear heels. I do not wear heels.
No.
Sneakers, tennis shoes.
I don't blame
you.
Not
very often, but I've had enough practice for a lifetime. I think I can safely say I will not wear heels a lot evermore.
I actually really liked the dress that Luna had when she was leaving Tenebrae before she got caught by Ravens.
Oh yeah, when she had a little scarf and a coat.
The scarf, I really like that design. She looked like she was a mirror image of Rosa from FF4's outfit. That was.
Rosa's outfit is beautiful as well.
Yeah, Rosa from After Years, because she's got the scarf and the.
Oh yeah, she's got like the long. Yeah.
But my opinion is I do prefer the game Luna design. I really can't stand
Lena Headey. She's
Headey, yeah.
Game of Thrones. She's from Game of Thrones.
Just do not like her when she came on. Uncovered, I was like, ugh, no. And then Aaron Paul came on, I was like, woo! But what I will say is, her voice actually grew on me. Lena's performance of Luna's voice. I know some people don't like it.
I think the game one was more innocent, and
I'd actually give the voice to the Kingsglaive Luna over the
Kingsglaive Luna. Yeah, she had that. She seemed older with that voice.
Yeah, and the thing is, for all of Luna's innocence, she's seen a lot. She's been through a lot, and she's been surrounded by nothing but scourge and death and dying people. I definitely think that Lena's voice brought that through, whereas Amy Shields was kind of too innocent. I think there needs to be innocence, but with that hint of, do you know what I'm saying?
Like something. There's definitely something dark. Going on.
Especially if you bring that backstory on Luna that we didn't get to see in the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think what both game and movie did well, because they kind of tweaked the character model in the game. Luna looked very young and vibrant and fresh cheeked, but then they made her kind of look a bit iller. And in Kingsglaive, did you see sort of how dark her eyes were? It kind of showed how tired.
Yeah, she had like rings around her eyes.
Yeah.
You could see at certain points, like the bit where she's in the car and she's driving to the Citadel, and you can see her face close up. And she does look shattered.
Yeah, and I was saying this just the other day on the stream. When I go back and watch Kingsglaive, for as much as wasn't translated over in the game, there is a hell of a lot of foreshadowing into the game. I don't know if it was intentional, but like when Arden views Luna through his champagne glass. Yeah. And you kind of think, oh, are you really foreshadowing the death? Or even if you just had the the Etro art, and that was shown through the tank, and obviously Etro is death, so you have this death painting under the water, and you kind of thinking,
water.
You know, what are you this clever?
Get all tissue, and you're a bit like, oh well, there's water everywhere.
There's a lot of water around here.
Something might happen.
Oh dearie
me. Oh
me.
wait. A few stabs later, and it's all gone to shit.
Yeah.
Luna's. Oh, that hit me. It only hit me the second time as well. Luna's death. That I just sobbed.
Yeah, the thing is,
I know that. I know whenever I first watched it, I think I watched it first on Pez's view. I was like, I was not expecting that.
So, did you cry at the Luna scene, Alex?
I didn't really cry as much as I was shocked.
Yeah. I didn't actually cry during the Luna scene. I mean, it's on record.
I did get a little emotional at the reunion of the Noctis and Luna.
I was just about to say that. I didn't cry during the death, and this is the weird thing. I felt bad for Noctis. I kind of wanted his happiness, and sort of Luna went hand in hand with it. And I kind of, after I didn't bawl my eyes out during the Luna death, I thought, oh God, am I actually not that connected to Luna? And then the wedding scene happened. And,
I think Ignis going blind hurt me more though than Luna dying, which
definitely hurt me more.
Oh, it's just that bit where he reaches for the arm of the chair, and it's like you just know something's not right, and then obviously Noctis is like, "You hurt," and
yeah, I still say now, sort of one of the chapters I think is often forgotten. It was that chapter when the bros were guiding blind Ignis.
Yes, and he said,
and they did it with the photos and the food, and that entire
the
chapter.
food where you had to eat beans because he couldn't cook.
I didn't even think it was beans. It looked like dog food.
It was terrible. It was something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's and this is the thing. When I think about scenes like that, I go, oh God, you know, I really liked 15 as a game, and I liked Kingsglaive as a movie, and therefore my score for that. I'm just going to straight give it. If I look at it in itself, because I do think it was self-contained. A lot of people say it wasn't, but I actually do kind of feel it was self-contained. It told the story, and also I think the game is. This is the thing. A lot of people say, "Oh, unless you've watched Kingsglaive, the game doesn't make sense." I don't agree with that either.
I don't think that's true. I think Kingsglaive stands as it. If you watched it, like you said, contained as its own thing, as its own film, then it does make sense. They still give you the exposition and stuff at the beginning and tell you what's happening.
Definitely, and that's why if I review just on its own, I'd actually give it about an 8.7 out of 10. But the interesting thing is, if I actually include the game, because I wanted so much, Kingsglaive got me so hyped for so many plot elements. And I think that's the eternal annoyance of 15, is no matter how much I absolutely love it, and I love the game, and I love the story.
I do.
It's the constant what ifs and missed potentials, and you just go, you missed that, you missed that, you missed that, and it would have been such simple things. Again, I say, like the whole Pitios story, they could have had a voice narrate it, even a simple NPC quest that had Libertas.
It was just kind of disappointing that they didn't fully expand on all the possibilities that they could have.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, when some of them would have been so easy, all you had to have was Libertas as an NPC, give you a quest line, and, you know, even the quest line could have been crap, but you would have gone, oh, Libertas! It's Libertas!
Yeah.
You know, little things that are so easy to pull off that I just think they miss.
Didn't they say that one of the DLCs could contain insomnia?
Well, they have... They did speak about it. They said that with the PC release, that they're working on sort of test environments and other areas. And Tabata gave a specific example of if we was to complete some of the other areas, one of those would be insomnia. So he did specifically say insomnia, which is very, very interesting. I kind of think we've seen it. Does anyone remember the tech trailer recently? It had that It had the wall from Kingsglaive.
The wall from the beginning battle, with the diamond weapon.
That's Outer Insomnia. So I think they've worked on it. I actually think we've seen it. Because that was a finished, refined product they showed us there.
Yeah.
So they've worked on that. So I really think when they say more of Insomnia, I think it might not just be the city, which is what I think everyone envisions.
The outer wall. The outer wall.
Yeah, the outer wall. Maybe even some of the outer towns, because then we can start even looking towards Galard, if you see what I mean. Mm-hmm. You see where I'm going?
Yeah.
Libertas.
I'd like to see Nyx's village as well. And then the beast. Like, if the bros visited there and then there's some flashbacks and they're like, I don't know why this is happening. Maybe if Noctis had the ring on, it would...
a flashback.
You know, flashback to
You could
Nyx.
even just have a old lady there who talks about Nyx. Oh, Nyx, he was
another
lad.
He's just like, this is what happened. I'll give you some stuff.
And maybe
was a kind soul.
So much that they can do.
Yeah. Oh, there is, and
there's endless possibilities. For this game.
Possibilities, and that's why when we know they keep on 70% of the dev team, when we know how much DLC they got lined up, that's why I keep saying the game is still in development. I mean, it just is. There's no way of looking at it in any other light. The game is still in development. They hit that date as an absolute deadline. I see people all the time saying, oh, well, they could have delayed it an extra year. No, they couldn't. No, they couldn't. I mean,
it would have cost too much. It would have put everyone, like all the fans would have just been, oh, but why another year? And then they would have complained a year ahead, being like, oh, this is all you gave us? And, you know,
they're never satisfied.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of patience for delays. You know, when the 2-month thing happened, I was like, yep, no problem at all. But honestly, if they said another year, even a hardcore FF, I'd have been like, no, fuck this. I can't.
This is Kingdom Hearts 3. This is a wait and a half.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it.
We get a lot of spin-offs.
We get a lot of spin-offs.
Yeah, and is that enough?
Keep us entertained.
Is that enough for you?
It is enough for now.
For now.
I think. Unless if it's not next year, then...
You still don't have a date, do you?
No, we still don't have a date. But E3's coming up. E3's coming up.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That is strictly reserved for the 7 remake, I'm afraid.
You never know. Never know.
I mean, there's room for both KH3 and remake.
Maybe them two will be like the headline ones. The 7 remake and the Kingdom Hearts 3. I forgot what it was called.
They do bring a release date for 7 remake, KH3, and a trailer for both. Square Enix are going to win E3 that year.
Definitely. 100%. I will cry tears of joy.
But rounding this video out, just because I also want to bring some facts to the table. So we spoke about Spirits Within, how that did. Just round out with Advent Children. This bad boy actually did really well. So looking at the sales, it sold 700,000 in Japan, 960,000 in the West. And it was actually it is rated the best Western anime release ever. Not bad.
As it should be.
Yeah, so it's been the best anime series to come to the West for units sold. I think it made around about number 2 during its first week on the video scan sales. So all in all, it did fantastic. Nice. And I think it even got number 12 for anime. And the thing is, they call it anime, which is strange about it, but they do sometimes class it as anime. It made number 12 in Japan for the year in its first week. That's crazy.
Wow.
That is mad.
Yeah, that's a clear difference from Spirits Within.
Yeah. So
it's a crazy
a clear success. But again, it was straight to DVD. So this thing with Final Fantasy movies, I think we've seen with them, as much as I like them on the big screen, I think we've kind of seen historically they don't need them. And in fact, if they do them, it's probably going to cost them more than it's worth. Is that what we're feeling from this story?
Yeah, especially Spirits Within with the cost.
Yeah.
The cost of that was mental.
I still need to get the DVD for Advent Children.
Yeah. I mean, I think I got a copy of it for like £1.50.
I only have a DVD for Spirits Within.
I think I found mine on the off chance at like Costco or something. I was just having a look around and then I was like, oh, this is Final Fantasy.
But yeah, Advent Children, that was on the bestsellers list for ages. So that did well. And looking at Kingsglaive, it's so hard to see how that did. So in the box office, that only got 1.5 mil, but that was actually really good considering how much, how limited.
Such a small release it was.
Yeah, and Square Enix were like, bloody hell, this is done really good. I think they opened it up to another 32 cinemas, I think it was, because they were shocked on how well it did. So that's the thing, they really didn't push this in the box offices, and it only made 1.5 mil. So you kind of think, if Spirits Within cost 115 mil, Kingsglaive surely can't have cost too far off. At least 80 mil plus, you'd think. Even if you look at the cast, Sean Bean and Paul, Leonard Haley.
Poor Sean Bean.
Yeah, poor Sean Bean. I mean, they've got to have a price tag to them, haven't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the annoying thing about Kingsglaive. I can't see any prices. I can't see any development costs. But yeah, 22,818 tickets sold in just 2 days, which is pretty mad.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. But on Rotten Tomatoes, it only has an approval rating of 13%.
Wonder why that is.
Again, it's the critics.
Yeah.
It's the critics. And this is what I want to round out with saying, if you, as a critic, score this at 13%, a 1.3 out of 10, you don't know your ass from your elbow. You need to be fired. You need to be fired. You cannot...
Do you even film, bruh?
Yeah, do you even film, bruh? I mean, you can't even objectively, subjectively, interjectively... There's no way you can score it a 13 out of fucking 100. What universe?
That's 1.3 is pretty damn low. There have been much worse films.
I mean...
Seriously.
Bet fucking Sharknado has got a better score or something.
Honestly, I think Sharknado, at least I'd look at it and go, oh, well, they tried.
They tried.
I'll give them a 13 out of 100 for trying, but come on.
Oh my god, no, that got a 3.3 out of 10.
It got a 3.3 out of 10. It got a 3.3 out of 10, really.
So 33 out of 100.
There we go. Jesus.
There we have it.
There we have it. And there we have it, guys. They also score Advent Children and Kingsglaive far less than Spirits Within. I don't mean to shit on anyone's grave who likes Spirits Within, because if you like it, really fair play to you. And I definitely would say I like it more than I dislike it. I don't love it. I don't dislike it. I just about like it. So
just about liked.
Just about liked. But I will still say, if you think that Spirits Within is a better film than Advent Children or Kingsglaive, I think you've missed the boat somewhere. That's all I'm going to say.
Maybe reevaluate.
The boat has sailed.
Reevaluate.
Well, there's definitely a big improvement from Spirits Within to Kingsglaive.
Yeah, they've learned a lot through the process of making.
Yeah, I mean, even on just the visuals alone, even if you was to do nothing else, the visuals alone get it at least a 3 out of 10, at least, minimum. Because I still look in close detail at things like the dirt on Droughts' boots. I look at some of the sort of skin pigment details on Nyx's face, the hair. Yeah. It blows my mind away. And I kind of feel like the world doesn't know. I look at Kingsglaive and I feel frustrated. I'm like, guys, have you not actually seen how good this film looks? Now look at it.
I know, right?
I mean, it blows my mind how good this film looks. And yet I could ask 20 mates in a room and maybe one of them will have heard of Kingsglaive. Do you know what I mean?
Sad.
I think that for a film that looks that good, yeah, it definitely deserves a hell of a lot more attention than it has. That's just my rant. I had to finish that on a rant. It wouldn't be Final Fantasy Pen channel without it.
Nope.
I'm sorry,
Rants
guys.
are good. Rants are healthy.
So thanks for coming on, Possess. And I have to round this question out. I've always wanted to ask this. What's it like being a female gamer? What's it like?
It's fine. You know, you always get that person that's like, oh, but are you only doing it because guys like it? And you're like, that's not the reason.
Is that what they ask?
No. Yeah, a lot of my family think I play games not for the enjoyment.
You're paying it to be a hussy.
Who do you think you'll attract doing this? And it's just like, I'm not doing it for that. I enjoy games so much, and like far beyond the reaches of Final Fantasy as well, and Kingdom Hearts and everything. I do genuinely enjoy it, and it has influenced me a lot. And I feel like being a girl gamer doesn't really make any difference nowadays, I don't think.
Oh, 100% it shouldn't. How do you feel, Alex?
Well, I love video games and like animation, all of that. I mean, of course, my brother started me on the path, even though...
Good work, brother.
Right? Kudos for you, brother.
Kudos to you. You did one good thing.
My family, like my parents kind of think it's a little strange, but they don't hold it against me. But,
That's good. That's good.
I mean, it's what I want to go into. It's what I want my future to be in animation and video games.
Rounding out as a summary, so... we like Final Fantasy movies, and we think they should continue?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes? There was a bit of hesitation there, Jade.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't think they should continue?
I think they should in certain circumstances.
Well, this is the interesting thing. I should have covered this before I started rounding out, because with Kingsglaive, it started off... Kingsglaive, Advent Children, it started off as a little 20-minute project, and then you know what Nomura's like, he slowly builds it up and builds it up, and he adds more, because Nomura, he can just never stop.
Doesn't stop. Sorry.
He's the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah, he is the Energizer Bunny, and he ended up building up to a full 110-minute movie. So that's kind of interesting. I would actually say, just going from Jade, perhaps you might agree with me here, perhaps don't go down the movie route, but definitely stick with the anime route.
The anime was really good. I felt more emotion from the anime than Kingsglaive, just because plump toe.
Yeah, I think there was 2 episodes that moved me to semi-tears.
Me too.
I can't remember what parts they were now, but there was definitely 2 parts that moved me to tears. So,
I know mine was from the plump toe,
yeah.
And then not this after the fight with the...
the Marilith.
The Marilith.
After the fight with the Marilith. And he just slips out into the ocean.
But if they do either a movie or an anime, should it be a completely separate spin-off, like a totally self-contained universe and news story, or should it come off of something like FF16 or 17? Should it come off of a game again?
I like that comes off the game.
Yeah?
That way you're already familiar with the characters and such.
I liked Advent Children because it was its own story in itself, but it did fall off the back of 7. So maybe that, like, it's a new storyline, but it still contains that world and that the same similar characters, because the nostalgia of seeing them characters again that you've been through the game with, it adds a lot of, emotion to it. If 16 happened and then there was a game that followed on from 16, a film that followed on from 16, I think that would be more, I think that would just hold more for the fans of the game.
So what do y'all want, a sequel film or a prequel film?
Yeah.
I think a sequel film.
Yeah, I kind of think it is good to go after the games, because when I look at something like Spirits Within, something that's completely self-contained, when I look at the fact that they pumped 150 million into that, and I think, you know what, that could have actually been a game. I would much preferred, for them to make a big budget game over a movie any day. And that's what I think. If I had the choice between a big budget FF movie or the thought that they could tell that same story through a game, I'd go for the game every time. Definitely
the game.
I think if one thing has taught us, I think we can all perhaps agree on, is that 3 movies have never told a story in quite as good as what the games have. They've never done a story quite as much justice. Do we all agree on that?
Yeah,
it's almost like how you have a book and then you have the movie of the book.
Yeah. I mean, the movies very rarely do the books full service. Because I think, I mean, a book can be 40 hours of reading. Just like a game, it can be 40 hours of storytelling. I just think trying to compress it all into a 2-hour film, it's difficult.
Yeah.
I got to say, as much as we criticise movies, getting anything down in 2 hours, it's pretty bloody tight.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Unless you have like a part 1 and a part 2, part 3, part 4.
Yeah. So that's it, guys. That's what we think of the Final Fantasy movies. But
Yep.
everyone, let me know in the comment section below what you think. Alex, shout
Get
out
round
to
at you about it.
Bye.
Thank you so much for coming on, Alex. Alex Queenie Alexandria and Jade Squishy Baker. Thanks for coming
Squish.
on. The Squish.
Yes.
Anytime.
Good luck in college.
It was a joy.
It was a
Yeah,
joy.
I need
I
it.
enjoyed it.
That's it, guys. So there, you guys have helped me christen the first podcast.
Yeah.
Hopefully there are many more to come. And again, guys, let me know. You can email me, hit me on Twitter, hit me on Facebook. If you think you want to come on, and if you think you can beat their rather abysmal quiz score.
Oi.
Good luck.
Oi.
I mean, it wasn't bad.
We're just a little
You made
guinea
us-
pig.
So that's it. See if you can beat them, guys. And again, thanks for coming on. Cheerio.
Bye.
Bye.
Toodaloo. Kopo.